Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yes, we're painting again. We have the scrapbook open. Yes, the scrapbook. It's not a sketchbook, it's actually a scrapbook that people use to make photo albums and stuff. And you can get them quite easily. I got mine, this one, from the Works in the UK. I don't know about other areas. I've bought them online before, and it was if I remember this right, it was a Seabright brand of scrapbook. So the card was good, because you need it to be quite thick. If you get the ones that are really thin paper, they're all right for drawing on, but they're not for painting, because then they cockle easily. And you don't want that. It's annoying. Anyway. Let's have a go at putting a bit of a sky in here. I've gone for quite a brighter blue than normal. This is a primary blue and white. Getting a bit of a sky there. We'll have some blue there. Blue here. Maybe there's another bit there. We can have a cloud. We've got water down here, so if we paint it in now, I suppose it'll give us a better chance. A better chance. Better chance of doing something alright. Alright. That's all we want to do, really. Get a painting that we look at and go, that's alright. Sometimes I surprise myself, though. Sometimes I do a painting and I'm like, that looks pretty good, actually. I surprised myself there. I didn't think I had it in me. And then sometimes you go, well, it's alright. It's pretty good. It's best I could do. Oh, that's bright. That's white. Strong white. Need a bit more blue in than that. So this is about the edge of the page, there and there. So that's not a bad start. Not a bad start. Now, I want to throw in. Actually, as this is drying a little bit, it gives me a chance to do another layer of it, because I don't want it to disappear. I don't mind the page coming through a little bit, that nice yellow of the page. I don't mind it. It's just, I don't want this to disappear. Don't want it to disappear on me. So, I can throw in a bit of burnt umber into this blue as well. Make sort of a grey. Get a bit of the ultramarine blue in. Cool it down a bit, you can see that. Ultramarine blue, burnt umber, and a bit of the primary blue. There's a bit of yellow in there now as well. Whoops. And we'll make a bit of a cloudy colour. Let's have a look at it actually. Yeah. Get this cloud going. As you can see, it sort of all blends together. That's alright. It don't matter. We don't mind. Get some blue in there. We kind of want it to blend together a bit anyway, to keep this sky together, keep it as a unit. Okay. Use your finger to smudge it a bit, and I wash my brush and then I'll wipe it on a tea towel to dry it a little bit, because I don't want the brush to be really wet, and then the paint becomes a little bit too wet, and then as it dries it fades, so a bit too much brown in that colour. Get some blue. There we go. It's a bit better. Just closing that gap a little bit there. Okay. I quite like that sky actually already. I quite like it already. Now then, what I want to do next, I think I'll just do a quick, what if I have a little bit of light there. Bit of light there. What I like about watercolour is how this sort of spreads into the wet area. You don't want to fight too much of that, because that's the idea of using it. You want it to, you want stuff like that to happen. Something that we do sometimes is we fight against our own materials, but they do unbelievable things for you, and you get these cool effects. They might not be exactly on purpose, but they look good. And that's good enough for me. Whatever happens. Right, I think just lighten a little bit of that, a little bit of that here, a bit there. And I think we've got our sky. Now, I want to put in our mountain. So, we've got a mountain. Bit of the blue. Bit of the blue. Bit of the brown. Bit of the black, I think, as well, actually. Blue, brown, black. Blue, brown and black, that is. Really, it's quite dark. And it will, as all this dries, it's drying as we wait. I'm going to put in a mountain. I'm going to choose, what kind of shape shall I have? Now, this is based on a design that I did a while ago. I'm sort of digging up all my old painting ideas. And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Why didn't I ever paint that one? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that, because I'm painting as regular as possible. Here's a mountain shape. There we go, that's quite good. Yeah, and then we've got another one, another bit that goes. This mountain's going to finish sort of here, well, this mountain range I should say, going to finish around there, because we're going to put some grass and stuff in front of it. It's going to need to go there. And then maybe we could have another peak. That sort of goes right into that blue area, right into there. And I've looked at a lot of mountain shapes, and from what I can see, there's all kinds. So when I paint mountains now, I just think, well, there's probably a bit I could put a bit there and a bit there, and just go along with it, because there's so many different mountain shapes that you're probably safe just to make your own up, aren't you, really? I don't think it really matters. What's going on here? Let's use a different brush. That brush wasn't working for me. It didn't have enough water in it. And I wanted to get a bit more shape as well. There we go. That's what I wanted. Sometimes you need to bring out the smaller brush. So what I might do while I'm at this, actually I'll just put a bit of dark on this one side. You can see where my dark part of the mountain is now, can't you? I'm going to go over this side. Anyway, try and get rid of that harshness. So I want to create a bit of mist sort of stuff at the bottom. Mist sort of stuff. No, I actually want to create mist. So I'm going to get a bit of blue. I'll just do this, wiggle at the base, and then get some mist going. Just use your finger, pick up a little bit of colour and think about where you want your mist to go, and then put it in. Okay, I think I'll just stick to that for now. Then I'll start highlighting this. I'll just give it a minute though to dry that mountain a bit. So while I'm waiting, I can get myself. What I'll do is I can get myself a bit of green down here, bit of brown, bit of our umbers and green. I find like viridian green, if you put a bit of umber in or a bit of blue, ultramarine blue, and then throw in your yellow, you can get a better green. You need to I really find you need to dull it because it can get a bit too strong, I find. So yeah, so while I'm waiting for that, I can think about this grass. We went for an area that sort of goes and some more of that green. Like that, and that goes like that. I'm just going to sort of block this in. I'll separate this with light afterwards, but for now I'm just gonna throw colour in there. I might do some classic trees at the back. Always finishes that off nicely though, doesn't it? But I don't know. I do like having a few trees at the bottom of the mountain. I might just put a couple in. But anyway, for now, we'll just leave that as green, and then we'll start working things out. What I might do actually, pull a little bit of that in the water. Bit of that brown. There's just a little bit of green in there. Just wash my brush, wash it again, so it's green. Right, now, so I'm going to get, I'm going to start with sort of a bluey white. Sort of a bluey white, ultramarine blue and white, and I'll start putting in my highlight with this colour, and then I can go brighter secondarily. So we'll add some. There we go, and some there. Yeah, so we're looking at the for the light, maybe this. I might push that bit of a mountain back actually. Get a little bit of blue and stuff. Just sort of push it back. And then bring this one in front. And then this one. Now I want a duller colour, a bit more blue, bit of brown, bit more blue than brown. I think we need. Go for a duller, bluey browny greyish colour. And we'll start putting some of this snow on this side as well. A bit more blue. I actually need a lot more blue than I thought. I think because of the colour that's already on there. That's better. I'm just going to put a bit of blues on there, not too much, and then we can start bringing this down. Okay, and a bit more for this side. Sort of bring that together a little bit. And this area can be a bit more blue. Yeah. So I want to paint back in some of my mountain colour. I lost some of it on this bit here. Yeah, it's not too bad. And then what I want to do is go lighter again, because I want to catch some light in the areas that I want, like this top part. And it's quite dry going on, so it breaks quite nicely. But you can do this, or you could leave it as it was and make it more subdued, as they say. Up to you, really. I quite like that. Might have a bit there. I'm thinking a few trees. I'm thinking maybe in this world, maybe there would be a few at the base there. Definitely something anyway. I'll just put an indication of something, because otherwise it doesn't look right. Yeah, it gives it indications of stuff, doesn't it? Back there. Now, sort of a greeny, a darker a bit. I'm going to break up some of this. Bit of yellow ochre in my colour. I had a bit of a weird issue with my camera then, it seemed to freeze. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, we've got some nice land going on here. I was thinking I just put a little bit of yellow on my palette, on a bit of yellow. I just want to break this up. Imagine that there's sort of different fields, maybe. It's got a bit of a Lake District look to it, where you get snowy mountains and then grassy areas as well. It's quite interesting, this though. It's quite amazing, really. The English Lake District. Walking round there, and there it was. all nicely green grass, and overhead snowy mountains. Now, before I went there, actually, because I'm not exactly a well-travelled person. I mean, the furthest I go to generally is to the shop. That's about as far as I go. I've run out of milk, but I go to the shop. Yeah, I need to be more. I want to be more adventurous, especially with a scrapbook. I want to be more adventurous. So I'll just give that a little bit of something. And then the where the land and the water meets, we can put in a sort of a brown area. Sort of like there. So we've got a bit of a bank going on. Yeah, quite like that actually. That's looking quite good. I'm tempted. I am tempted to get a bit of snow. See, I start calling everything snow and things. I don't call it paint. After a while, it's not paint anymore. It's snow and water. I was thinking, what if there was a bit of snow still on the patches of the ground? It's not quite melted in some places. Just in a few sort of spots. Yeah, just a few cold spots, and I might put a little bit of burnt sienna in my white and change the top of this, a bit of light on top of this muddy area. Can even put a bit of that in the water. Just pull that down into the water. Okay, now then, I want a boat in the water, and this is where I want the boat, right there. So I'm getting some red for the sail. Oh my. It's right there. What is now? I know this is a really strong red. Maybe I should have gone with crimson. Maybe, or maybe this was a good idea. And just get a smaller brush just to clean this edge up here. Okay. And put in the I'm just going to grab some light umbery, burnt umber and a bit of burnt sienna as well together. Oops. Burnt umber, burnt sienna, and I can put in the mast for this. Well, I could do, if I had enough paint on my brush. Want more paint, more. Okay, I might get a little bit of white. Bit of yellow ochre and white. This is gonna give this pole a bit of a highlight straight away. I think there's a bit that sticks out there. Oops. Anyway, let's carry on. Yellow ochre colour for the boat. So we want it to go oh wow, right, actually we could put in a bit of a reflection. I'm going to use a duller red for the reflection. Should be about there. Let's get this old boat built. Look at this old boat. There we go. Now I'm going to have a make sure I'm painting this properly. I've got a bit too much going on underneath the boat. Might be able to get rid of some of that. As a reflection. Go a little bit darker. There we go. Try not to get too bogged down with this boat because I could feel myself getting bogged down. I'm trying not to be so strict. Be a little bit loosey. What do they say? Loosey goosey. Give that a little bit of shape. I need a person on the boat as well that's controlling it, so and I also want to do something else. I want to get a bit of white. Put in a few little water lines on this. And then I can go meep. That was quite good actually, this. I might give that a little bit of a bit of something. Give it some movement. Give that water some movement. Right, I want to put a person in that boat. Get some quite dark. Should we go with a dark blue maybe? Tiny bit of just got a tiny bit of blue and black. I've someone about there. He's having a great time. Sailing away. Trying to get this shape at the front that I didn't quite get. think that might be a bit over the top, but I wanted to get that shape. So I'm going to put a face, just about a face anyway. See if I can get a bit of a head on this person. About there. I don't think I want to go into any more detail on his face than that, to be honest. Well, how does that look? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. I can start going into a bit of green and yellow. Maybe I can put in a few reeds and things, stuff that grows at the edges. I'm actually thinking about other areas that I've been to. This is a made up place, so think about other places you've been, and then you can kind of just start making stuff up. Yeah, I think we're about there really. The only other thing I could think of doing is the classic of having a couple of birds. And oh, there is something I can see. That's this bit of mountain. It's a bit too that's better. Try and soften that a little bit. Yeah, I think that'll just about do it. Got to imagine that this reflection here is above here. It's not this reflecting down. It's much further this way. So I'm getting more of the sky above. So you could put cloud in the water or something if you wanted to. The thing I was thinking of was maybe having a bit of land in front here. Just sort of brings it together, kind of. Something like that. Anyway, I'll let this guy sail through and enjoy his little trip. In the meantime, yeah, it's like I said, you could put like a cloud in the water if you wanted to. Just imagine reflected cloud. If there was a cloud above, it was sort of like this. Yeah, you can do stuff like that. No problem, no problem. But this is about all I want to do with this one, I think. Today, I'm pretty happy with this idea. It's quite a good one. Quite a good one to paint as well. I mean, they're the ones that you want to find, ones you enjoy painting, but don't shy away from them ones that are hard to paint as well. Because we all do that. Well, maybe you don't, but I do. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't do a hard one today. I just want to do a fun one. When I say hard ones, I mean dun 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 portrait stuff. Bit of light in there. Okay, so I think I'll call this one finished. So I'll say thanks very much for watching this one, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.